Is everyone able to see my screen?
Correct.
Yes,
Yes,
Sanjay.
Sanju.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
We'll start with some introduction with the heuristic search A-star algorithm. Basically, A-star algorithm is a search technique used in artificial intelligences right now, in which is a boom in the world. So basically, I choose this topic so that everyone knows how search technique comes in picture with artificial intelligences. Today's agenda will be like algorithm of A star. I will be taking some I will be showing some algorithm, how the workflow of algorithm goes for A star, and some examples on it, and then we'll take some short demo on it. I have created a code in C++ itself for that algorithm, and we'll go through that code once. First of all, we'll like to know what is heuristic function, because a star algorithm uses a function as fn is equal to g of n plus h of n, where h of n plays a major role in it. H of n reflects heuristic functions. Heuristic functions. That heuristic function is nothing but a goodness of a node. Like for example, if we take this example as of now, so s is the node. Okay, for so s is, if s is the node, the heuristic function for it showed over here is 17. The heuristic function for it showed over here is 17. How this actual value is calculated is, it is an estimated cost. Like the if one wants to move from S to G, what would be the estimated cost for it, for that node to reach that particular goal node. So that is the heuristic function we have taken over here. I have used a heuristic function called as HSLD over here for this example. That is a straight line distance heuristic function. We'll take an example for heuristic function as well. Like for example, in traveling salesman problem, heuristic value associated with each node, like from one city to another city, there is some cost between the city. Means we represent it as age, but there is some cost, like that age has some cost. So likewise, the node also has some cost. So that cost of that node is nothing but the estimated distance to travel from that city to that another city, and it is allocated as heuristic function to that node. So we'll see the algorithm with an example. Here is the algorithm, and we'll track back simultaneously to see the how the algorithm is working in example. Okay, this is an basic example I have taken right now. Uh, taken right now. This here it is the initial node, we can say, that is S node, and this is the G node, that is a goal node. So from we have to travel from S to G. Hence, this A star algorithm will give an optimal solution to us to travel from S to G. Okay, here the heuristic value for G is 0, because what will be the estimate value to reach that same node again? So basically, the heuristic value for G would be 0 by default, and and for S, G of n would be 0, because what will be the cost to start with the initial node, right? So for for S, the G of n will be 0. So while starting, first we'll see the algorithm also. Algorithm has a initial stage where the open list, which is initialized as S. The S is nothing but the node which we have selected right now, which is the initial node, and closed is initialized to null. And G of S, that is G of the node which we have selected, is 0, because it is itself is initial node and will mark it as 0. And for a function of S for that initial node will be equal to the heuristic value that node carries. So basically, f of S will be equal to h of S. Once the S node is initialized as 0 and 17, what the algorithm will do, it will calculate an f of n for each node. So for the f of n, we have initialized by default for this initial node, that is 17 over here, that is marked as 17 over here, and g of n, which we have taken, is 0 over here, and h of n for s, as we have said that it is an estimated cost. So estimated cost for s is 17 over here. So 0 plus 17 becomes 17. So f of n for s would be 17. After that, if initial node is selected, like if you want to see the third step, the node is selected which has the optimal f of n. So basically, minimum cost node n is selected. We will be calling it as n, and we'll be saving it to open, from open to in a closed node. So first, when we have selected the s node, when we have selected the s node, we'll split the branches of s node, like what are the other paths to reach to g from s. So there are basically three main parts right now with us, that is a, b, and c. We can go through a, we can go through b, we can go through c. So if we calculate a cost to move from s to a, is given over here as 6. So indirectly, the g of n for a becomes 6. After that, heuristic value of a is given as 10. So the heuristic value of a will become as 10. So when we will be adding the both, that 6 plus 10 will become 16 over here. That is nothing but a g of n, and we'll be pushing it to the open list, as we have opened that node. So basically, simultaneously all the node like b also and c also will be opened, will be pushed in open by calculating their respective f of n. Like f of n for a is 16 now, for b it is 18, for c it is 14. If you have a questions regarding how this values came from for b and c, similarly, when we have what we have calculated for a, we have calculated for b, we have calculated for c. By seeing the graph, you can calculate it as 10 is g of n for c, and 4 is heuristic value for c, and total becomes 14. B is g of n for b is 5, and h of n for b is 13, and total it becomes 18. So so indirectly, our algorithm will search for an optimal value from all the three successors. Here, for each successor, insert m in open only if we'll set the g of m and f of m simultaneously, as g of n was 0 and the cost for going from n to m was 6. If we take an example of a, so 0 plus 6 becomes 6, that is g of n for a, and f of m and h of n will be given over there as for a was 10. So 6 plus 10 will indirectly reflect f of m. So f of m is checked by for each successor, which is the optimal among the all the successors. So a, b, c are the successors, and what is the optimum value among all the successors? That is nothing but c right now. So once c comes into the picture, the algorithm will select a c from the open list and will move forward for expanding more and catching the goal node to its goal state. So g node to its goal state. So s will move from c through c and will reach to d. D has g of n as 16. How this 16 came as s to c is traveled as 10. After c to d is traveled as 6. So the cost from moving from s to d would be 10 plus 6, that is 16. So g of n for d will become as 16, and simultaneously the heuristic value of d is respectively the value of heuristic is 2 for d. So so indirectly 16 plus 2 gives you 18, and hence 18 would be the g of n for d, and it will be pushed again to the open list. Once it is pushed to the open list, the c will be pushed to the closed list, because it has been expanded and all the other operations or the paths which we have calculated for C have been done. So basically, the C node will be closed and it will be pushed into the closed vector, and D will be pushed into the open vector. When this three nodes are there in the open vector, that is A, B, and D, the algorithm will look for the optimal value. And as we are using a queue concept over here, so first last in will be the first out, right? So between B and D, this both are having a similar values, 18 and 18 for f of n, but last push was for D, and hence the D would get selected. D would get selected if it is an optimal value, but here A is optimal value than D as well as from B. So A will be getting selected right now, as an algorithm is searching only in the open list, and open list has only three nodes, that is A, B, and D, and respectively A has a 16 value. So once the algorithm catches A node, it will start expanding it also. Further, it will expand E, and simultaneously, like by like, it will go further and further, and will uh, push E, E after B, B after F. After that, it will push E into closed list, and uh, uh, it will take in picture with B node, F node, and again a B node. B node, one will be from S to B, one will be from S to A to E to B. This will be the path for next node of B, that will be having 31, and the other node would be having S of A, E, and F, which will be having 17 as an Fn value for that path, and S to B will be having an 18 value for achieving that G node. So basically, the optimal value from among all these four nodes will be the 17 one, that is the F node again, and then again recursively it will start calculating and will go on, but a stage will come where G node has been achieved with the Fn value of 19, but still the D value for it was 18, right? So what it will do is it will try to get the path from D as well, because f of n for D is optimal compared to we have achieved G with the A through A path. So what algorithm will do? It basically back propagate and will take the saved instance of D into the picture, and again it will expand for the D. Once it will be expanding D, it will bifurcate it as B and F again, as D has two paths, that is F and B again, and it will calculate the f of n for both the nodes. So after that, when the f of n is calculated for both the nodes, the B node again gets the 36 f of n values, and F will get again 23 f of values, which is way larger comparatively to G, which is having right now f of n as 19. Once the path is over, it will indirectly get terminate off and push down to the closed list, and after that a single node, that is B, which is left with f of n equal to 18 in the open list, would also be get bifurcated, because it has a minimum value compared to what we have right now as a G19. So once it is bifurcated from D, E also, it will go likewise till G, and will achieve a G of 18, and hence will the optimal value for going from S to G would be S to B, B to E, E to F, and F to G. That would be the most optimal value for this graph to travel. But if we go among all the searches which we have, it may give you the output as S to A to E, E to F, F to G, because it never back propagates and never checks apart that what are the more possibilities we are having, and what were the values that we left behind. Basically, A star saves the instance where it thinks that can be an optimal value, optimal path for the for achieving the goal state. we'll look into some properties as well for A star. What A star gives is, compared to other searching techniques, A star is admissible, complete, and optimal. What admissible A star means is, admissible A star means that it gives an optimal solution in some conditions, like the solution which is given by A star may vary if the heuristic values are varied. Basically, there are two types of what we can say admissible behavior of A star algorithm, that is underestimated and overestimated. I'll due to some time constraint, I will not be able to cover this underestimated and overestimated things, but I will give some overview for underestimated and overestimated behavior of A star algorithm. What underestimated behavior for A star is, suppose if you go to buy a laptop and your estimation was, I'll get that laptop in just 20,000, but that shopkeepers tell you that it is for 30,000. So the budget which you have decided was little bit less compared to the original budget of that laptop. So what you will do is, you will go and check to another shop as well, that if I get this laptop in 20,000 or not. But this was the first case. What the other case is, that is for overestimation. For example, if you have decided to take a laptop which is around 40,000, but that same laptop is offered by the shopkeeper in 30,000. So here, what you will do is, you will not go to the other shop and check that if I get this laptop in 25,000 as well, because your estimation cost was 40,000, but you get that in 30,000. So basically, what you will do is, you will buy that laptop. But the case which was in underestimation, that was the case that you will go to other shop and check. You will back propagate once again and check two three shops again, that am I getting that laptop in my budget as well. So what this depicts is, if A star having a heuristic value greater than expected one, it may not give a good optimal value comparatively to the underestimate heuristic values. Okay, and if we go in bookish language, like there are the stage, every node has a finite numbers of successors. Yeah, this is also one of the point for admissible A star, that every node should be a finite number of successors. If there are infinite numbers of successors, it might get in the infinity loop, and might your goal state doesn't arrive at the position what you exactly needed, or what you exactly opt for. Every arc in the graph has a cost greater than some epsilon greater than 0. You can't have negative cost. The cost we are defining in uh, uh, edges, like from A to B, B to C, C to D, the cost should not be less than 0. It should always be greater than 0. If the value goes in negative, it this might get disturbed and may give you some error base or bug fixes bugs optimal solution. This A star algorithm is also a complete one. Complete one means what? It will give an solution for uh, for a complex problem if it exists. It will not provide you that if the solution exists, and it will give you an output as there is no goal state, or the goal state can't be achieved. It will once and all, it will, for one time at least, it will give you that the goal state is achievable through this path, or through this solutions. It will give you one solution if it exists, if the solution exists. Optimal is, as we seen in the example itself also, that A star is optimal as well, because if other searches were there, the G of 19 will be selected and will be given you as the output, and the other path which A star bifurcated will not be bifurcated, or will not be expanded by the other search techniques. What are the advantages that we get from that we get in A star algorithm is, it can solve a complex to complex problem as well, comparative to other search techniques. They normally solve a simple and easy problems, but A star can also solve a complex problems as well. Nowadays, many animation techniques is used in this A star algorithm as well. Many animation developers use this A star algorithm technique to develop their animations. Disadvantages on A star algorithm would be the factor of
Um, Sorry to interrupt,
yes, Shabas.
Sanjit. So
Uh,
by animation you mean in the games to find the player
yeah,
by bots?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Basically, if you put a point, for example, there is a game. I'll just take an example. Like there is a game to fill the blocks. Okay, fill the blocks with color. If you first click on the bottom of the block, like the bottomest block, with the whatever the bottomest block might be in the blocking section to fill the color, it will just see that where the empty colors are there, and it will start filling the colors likewise. And what this will do is it will simultaneously push the things which is filled with color in the closed boxes, and the other ones in the open boxes, where it can just see the optimal things, where more of the coordinates are remaining to get colored compared to closed ones. So basically, more of the animations. Like I'll like to show you the example. I have some examples in uh, computer and browser also. If you want, I'll just explain you after this session. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Uh, Disadvantages related to this is related to this is branching factor. Because if branching factor goes on increasing, like we have seen the successors for S was 3, if it goes on increasing like it is not a finite one, so this may get a huge black hole for A star algorithm, and will crash, and the program may get crashed. I like to show the demo as well right now. Uh, I have a demo related to this map only. I have created the demo with the world map example. I have taken some coordinates, and I have statically assigned the values, or we can say the cost for it, and simultaneously I have shown the node positions, like from if you want to travel from one node to another, how the A star algorithm just gives you the optimal path. Hope my screen is visible to everyone right now. The Visual Studio Code 1. These are the two files which I have created. One is the algorithm carrying header file. That is, header file carries the algorithm and a node, where I have defined a parent parent pointer, a child pointer, a g of n, a h of n, and f of n for respective node. Like if we take an example of S, so S might be having a g of n, h of n, and f of n, as well as the parent node if it has, or else null, or the child nodes. What are the child nodes for it? The child nodes for it might be A, B, and C. And as well as the user state. You will come to know what user state for what I have used this user state as, because basically user state is nothing but the template which I have used for this A star class, so that whenever some generic functions, like a generic one, like whoever wants to manipulate using that node derived by himself, can be used by this algorithm. So I'll directly jump to the main code of algorithm. This is the main code of algorithm which I have called in find path, where this find path has a world map initialized statically with some cost, and these are the functions where uh, which is defined in my map search node class, which is defined as a user defined type, user defined which is defined by user one. Okay. uh, so I'll go from main itself, so I guess everyone can understood the code. Huh. So I have first initialized the A star search tree, like A star search tree or A star search graph, which you can take the example which I have discussed with you 15 minutes back. The S1, S to G1, S A B C, and S means initial node as S, and the goal node as G. So what I have done over here is I have defined the start node, which is the initial node, like S was there, with a 0 and 1 coordinate. 1 comma 0 is the coordinate for initial start. After that, my map search node has node end, that is a goal node, with 1 comma 19. Here you can change the values according to you, and then you can get the output accordingly. And I have initialized the A star search tree as follows, like node start and node end one. Once I have initialized node start and node end, I have started the for loop. For loop. I have taken this search state and search step variable to just track down that which state I am going through, like it is in success state, or it is in failed state, or the memory out of memory uh, state it is, or whatever state it might be, it will be reflecting that one. And search step is the variable which is giving me the how many steps I have implemented to search my goal node. Okay, so search step will simultaneously get incremented with the do while loop, while the search state will be initialized from A star search dot search step, where search step implements the algorithm of A star. What search step do over here is a search step does the whole algorithm of A star. First what it gives is it initializes. Oh, sorry. Yes, yes. Is everyone able to see this? Yeah. Huh. Uh, what uh, what uh, what search function does is it initializes the open list front. Open list front is nothing but the optimized node which I have, because I have already sorted the node first itself. Whenever I used to push the open node, I am sorting the open list simultaneously, and the whichever node is the first one will be the optimal one for me right now. So the first node would be the optimal one, and hence I'm initializing it for the first time. Once I have initialize it, I am popping up popping up that node from the uh, open list. And after the open list open I have, once I have popped the list once I have popped the node, I'm checking it that it is a goal node or not, because it may happen that when we start initializing it and the goal node which we have initialized will be the same one. So basically, instead of going through many loops and all, we'll directly terminate the program saying that first node which we have selected was the goal node, and the cost for it was uh, whatever like f of n, whatever f of n we will be calculating in it. Okay. So what I have done is n of m user state dot goal is goal. The user state which the user has passed me is a goal state. If it is a goal state, then what I have to do is just initialize the goal parent node to the parent node which is same, which I have which I have equated, and then initialize the G node with the G value of the end node. If it is not a goal node, if it is not a goal node, it will jump to else part, and once it is jumped to else part, it will carry the successors of it. Like we were carrying the successor of successors was A, B, C. So the node will carry the successors of S, that is A, B, C, and hence it will check that this has a successor or not, and parent has a successor or not. If it has a successor, if the node is the means first of all we'll check over here is if the node is present or not. If the node is not present, we'll pass null to get successors, and if the node is present, we'll pass the parent user state, that this is the user state. Come on, calculate the successors one for this state. After the successor node is calculated, successor one is calculated, it will jump to the for loop of expanding the successors and getting the values for successors. Like we have done here is n of g of n plus the cost of the node, like we have done in S to A. For example, the graph which I have taken as example was S to A, and from S to A the cost was 6 and the heuristic value for A was 10. So 10 plus 6 gives me 16. So basically the 16 will be saved into the nu of G and will simultaneously be uh, equating, or we can say we'll be seeing that it is less than the open list which we have in the current state, or greater than it, or then we will check if it is not in the open list, we will check for closed list. Closed list, that the closed list points have less than it or greater than it, and simultaneously will follow the algorithm. What algorithm says is, I'll show you the algorithm as well if you are not getting my point. Just a minute. What I have done is all the successors which I have calculated, which I have taken over here, uh, equating with the open list, whatever the nodes I have in the open list. And once the open list has the state, because I will be checking that state is similar or not, which I am traversing through. If it is similar, it will get break, and after that it will the if statement again downward will check that that was the end of the it or not. If it is not the end of the it, that means the node has been captured, which is less than the which we have calculated, and hence it will do, it will rough all the uh, successors which it has above. Like for example, S to B, for first state, if we take S to A, S to B, S to C, S to C was the optimal. But what about S to A and S to B? S to A successor were finished off, and S to B successor was also rubbed off for that instance, and then we have moved forward with the successors of C. So basically what it does is it just moved to the successor of C, and then we have stored the C point in the successor's parent node. once that is done Once that is done, we will push that to the open node, and then we'll again do the push if push if instance. What it does is it takes the starting node of the open and last node of the open, and it short the both the shorts the open list using this hip compare function. What hip compare function does is, hip compare function just gives him the state that the node which you are carrying and the node other, simply it just shorting technique is done over here in the push if function. And once the push if is done done the return the m state is written to find path. Once the find path is once the search state is written to it, it will get get to the conditions of the while, and we'll check that if the searching state for it is searching, like I have defined the enum as well for algorithm, that what state it is following. So whatever be the number, if it is 0, it will be state not initialized. If it is 1, the state is searching. If it is 2, the search state is succeeded. Okay, so whatever the number will be returning to the search state, it will be showing simultaneously the value for that, and hence the equating technique is done over here. Once the while loop is true, it will go on doing the searches for finding the goal node, and once the goal node is achieved, what it will do is it just printing out the information for the node which we have in the node, like whatever the numbers, or simultaneously whatever the string which we have saved in it. So I'll run the code once, and would like to show the output. Uh, so what output does is, I have showed you the initial state. My initial stage was this 1 comma 0, and my final stage was this 1 comma 19. What what my algorithm did is, it started with the 1 comma 0, and simultaneously find the coordinates which were the optimal while going, and hence I received the solution steps, that is 21. So basically if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this is the 21 steps from where I can reach to 1 comma 19 in an optimal way, and the total searches done for finding the optimal path was 25. So at the end, I'll like to conclude the session with the questions. Any questions, anyone?
So Sanchit, is this similar to shortest path first algorithm or Dijkstra's algorithm?
Yes, Samir. It is not similar exactly, but the same kind of work is done for Dijkstra's and shortest path algorithm as well. But one thing I would like to mention over here is A-star will be backtracking the things. Like if we follow the shortest path or Dijkstra's path algorithm, Dijkstra's might get the G comma 19. What example I have took is G comma. You have seen that G comma 19 has been has came. So this path should be showed by the best shortest path algorithm or Dijkstra's path algorithm, because they basically don't save the instance from where they come, from where they calculate, or from where the path starts. They goes on like they find optimal solutions. If they find optimal solutions for A, they will distract this B and C and will go to A. Simultaneously, both the things will be done in A-star algorithm, as it will be saving the instance as well, and it will be showing the optimal path as well.
Okay, so it's like, I mean, it keeps track of all the existing paths, and then, I mean, it gives us the holistic approach, right? I mean, it keeps, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, got it.
Till end it keeps the instance with it, and then once it gets that this is slightly greater than what I have behind, so it will basically backtrack to the least path, and then it will start searching again.
Okay.
Sanchit, am I audible?
Yes, yes, DK.
No, this is Ankush.
Ankush, yes. Sorry.
Yeah. I had a couple of questions. So first one is, I mean, so uh, the A star uses a heuristic approach, but
Yeah.
do you have any comparison with the brute force method of trying all the paths or the greedy approach? And in comparison, how much better is A star, or how many less number of iteration it requires?
Basically, comparative. If we compare with the complexity or means space complexity or time complexity with the all other searching techniques, A star must be having a large means a greater complexity compared to others, because if it continuously iterates the things which is which where the instance have been saved, like for A also, for B also, for C also. So if we take the complexity for A star would be much greater compared to others. I don't have exact comparison between the things between the techniques which you mentioned, but I think this is my
So,
point of view.
why would anyone choose A star over the other shortest path algorithms?
Comparatively, A star would give a complete solution to it. A star promises that I will give you the solution compared to other techniques, because other techniques doesn't have the completeness tag with them, but A star has a tag with completeness.
So, what if I try all the possible paths in a graph and then choose just the ones that have my initial node and the goal node, and also store their total weight, and then from all the paths, all possible paths in a graph, from the initial node to the goal node, select the one with the lowest weight?
Come again, Ankush.
So, like I mentioned, right, there could be a brute force approach to this, where I try out
Uh-huh.
uh, all the
Uh-huh.
possible paths from your initial node to the goal node,
Uh-huh.
and then choose the path with the lowest weight, right? So, I mean, this will also give me uh, what you called a complete solution.
Mm-hmm. But the complexity might get
Yeah, so
larger.
that's exactly my question is how much better is A star as compared to that approach. So I mean, okay, if you don't have the answer immediately.
Okay, okay. No, basically, I don't know the technique which you are asking for. I don't have any what I can say experience regarding it, what how it works and how, what are the technique it follows. The brute force algorithm.
So also I did not get exactly how you were computing the heuristic value for each node. Could you please show that code once?
In the code,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Here it is, the goal distance estimate. I am just subtracting the value, whatever value I am having with the goal node, and then I'll subtracting the means simultaneously both the coordinates are getting subtract to each other, like x minus node goal dot x plus y minus node goal dot y. If we take over here the example of 0 comma 0, and what the final goal was, the 0 comma 0 means 0 minus the final goal I was having was 1 comma 19. So 0 minus 1 plus absolute of uh, 0 comma 19. So what will be the distance for 0 comma 1 node, 0 comma 0 node would be 1 plus 19, that is 20. That the heuristic value for 0 comma 0 would be 20.
And how are you populating that node goal structure?
uh, Sorry, I didn't get you. Means propagating means in what sense?
How are you populating that node goal structure? I mean, the node goal has values for x and y both, right? So where are you populating,
Mhm.
storing these, calculating and storing these values?
Node goal is already set. Like this is the
Okay.
start node. This is the end node. Okay. Then we are setting using set start and goal node states as node start and node end. So basically from uh, ST, STL A star. will be getting the goal nodes and start node. Where is this function? Here it is. Set the goal state and start state. If you want, you can have a look in it.
So
And here we
are
are
there
for,
other?
Yes.
Yeah. So are there other heuristic approaches also possible?
Yeah, there are many other heuristic approaches in this AI technique or A-star technique. There are, I guess, 2 to 3 heuristic approaches I went around. I don't exactly remember the name, but there are 2 to 3 approaches of heuristic functions to calculate.
Okay. Yeah. So those are all the questions from my side. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you.
So Sanchit, would this
Yes.
algorithm work if we have less memory available?
Would this algorithm, if we have
Less memory
sorry
available. If we have a memory constraint.
okay, if we have a memory constraint, no, because it will be saving the instance, right? So at least we will be needing a huge amount of memory to store.
Okay. So can we say that this is a breadth first algorithm with backtracking to store backtracking which uses the memory? I'm not able to construct it correctly, but is it a
Okay.
breadth
Okay.
first algorithm
I
with
get your point. Yeah,
backtracking?
I get your point.
Okay.
Yeah, we can say for instance, but I don't think so, because breadth first search algorithm just follows the breadth-wise things. This technique can follow child and parent node as well. Means if it is not with the dealing with the trees itself, we can deal with some other things also with A-star algorithm compared to breadth first search. It's my point of view. I don't have some conceptual or theoretical what we can say proof for it.
Okay. Also, just correct me if it's an old reading that I had. According to that, there is a pointer set in my mind. If you don't define the heuristic function, okay, or if you don't have optimized heuristic function, then the A-star algorithm is worst algorithm in the world.
Yes. That was also a point in disadvantage of A-star
Okay.
algorithm, because if the defined heuristic value is not optimal, or it is not good as well, it is the worst algorithm, because I have also said something. Sam said two things for behavior of A-star, that is underestimation and overestimation. If
Right.
overestimation is the cause, it may get disturbed, and it will not give one optimal solution compared to others.
Okay. Yep. I think that's only thing I had. But maybe not part of this session. With that .h, that file that you opened, that was
Yeah.
downloaded from somewhere else, right? It's a actual algorithm that you are using in your code.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Sanchit, is there any scope for regularization? I mean, is there any such scheme available to regularize? I mean, if we can introduce some regularization parameters to save the cost.
Means I'm not getting your point. If you want that, means this should be search using regular expression, right?
No.
If you,
I mean, here we are looking for the accuracy, right? 100% we are trying to identify the best optimal shortest path. But if we can take a hit on some of the, I mean, what I can say, some error, if we can accept and live with some error, then I mean, such scope is there. in order to save on this processing and if there are any memory constraints as such. So is there any such provision, or I mean, it always behaves like this only?
I guess it always behaves like this. I don't have any idea regarding it, but I guess it will behave similarly as I've said.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, one more question from my side. Just a thought, okay?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Does this algorithm also cater the runtime changes in node values? Or is it like it has to be fixed? So for example, if you're saying that this is used in robotics to find out the path, there could be dynamic changes or runtime changes. For example, there is a path from, let's say, A to B, but somebody put something over there. Something can be anything. Or let's say there was a river, somebody puts a bridge on it. So now a new path has been opened. Okay. So does this algorithm also able to cater such a dynamic changes at runtime as well based on the inputs that it has? Or it already need to know everything beforehand, then only it can compute the end goal?
Basically, if you talk about heuristic function, GK, it needs to be defined before only. It can't be changed dynamically. As far as I know, means as far as I have some knowledge about it. And second point is, if we change the path or if we change the graph, I guess it can handle the optimal solution respectively.
Okay, and is there any condition like the change should not be in the path which is already traversed by the algorithm? If that is the case, then it handles, or it can handle the
No,
previous. Okay.
if it is if the means path is traveled and the f of n is already been stored in the open list, it can't be backtracked. Like once the solution is stored for that node, it can't be changed. Means it will not recompute it for if there is a change in it.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hi Sanjeev, one more question. After GK mentioned that bridge on the river thing, so I mean, is it possible to accommodate edges with negative weights? Maybe you are trying to use this algorithm for your cycling path, and then there is some downhill slope, so that should have a negative weight. So can this algorithm accommodate that? Or
like you want to know that if it the cost of traveling from one node to another is negative, so will this
yes,
algorithm will work?
yes,
Is that you want to say?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it will work. I guess it should be working because but simultaneously the heuristic function should be defined as such. Means if you are giving the negative cost for the path, heuristic function should be defined likewise, I guess. Means it should manipulate likewise the uh, negative values of path.
okay, thanks.
Okay. Any more questions?
No question from my side, but I just want to say thank you. It was interesting session. I actually wanted to drop out, but the session was interesting, so I kept on going. Maybe I'll watch the recording for the other meeting that I had. Thanks.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Sanjeev.
Thanks, Sanchit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lastly, I would like to mention one thing. I would like to thank Shabaz and Ankush and as well as Samir also for guiding me for this session.
You're most welcome.
Yeah.
Chalo. Thanks Samir, thanks Shabaz, thanks Ankush, thanks Sanjit. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Thanks, Anchit. Bye bye.
Bye.
Well,
Bye.
Welcome and thanks,
Bye.
Sanjeev. Bye bye. Bye everyone.
bye.